Today's notes are going to be on writing equations of line. First, we have to go through some vocabulary terms. Slope-intercept form is the equation y is equal to mx plus b, where m is the slope and b represents the y-intercept. The y-intercept is going to be represented by the point 0, b. A vertical line has an equation of x equals to a number. Your slope is undefined. The word you can use to remember this is vux. The v stands for vertical, the u stands for the undefined slope, and x is for x equals the number, which was the equation. A horizontal line is y equals the number and has a slope of 0. It is represented by the word hoi. H for horizontal, the O for 0, and y for y equals a number to represent the equation. Remember that parallel lines have equal slope, which means they're the same steepness and never intersect. Perpendicular lines have an opposite reciprocal slope and intersect to form a 90-degree angle. For the following example, we are going to write the equations of a line given the following information. All answers will be put into slope-intercept form. For example 1, we are given the slope and the y-intercept. So if we take our equation for slope-intercept form, which is y is equal to mx plus b, I can plug 3 in for the slope, which is represented by the m, and my y-intercept is the point 0, b, which tells me that my b value is -2. So I have the equation of the line, y equals 3x minus 2. For example number 2, I'm given the slope and a point. So I know that my m value is going to be 2/3, and I know that a point represents x and y, but I need to find what b equals before I can write my equation. I'm going to take the information that I do know and plug it into the equation for slope-intercept form in order to solve for the missing variable. So I'm going to plug in 4 for y, 2/3 for m, and -3 for x, which simplifies to 4 is equal to -2 plus b, and if I add 2 to both sides to get b by itself, I find that b is equal to 6, which means now I can plug in the information that I know. So my m value, this time I'm going to leave x and y in the equation, but I'm going to plug in my b value, which was 6. Your final answer should always contain x and y. You are only replacing values for m and for b. Next, we're going to write the equation given 2 lines. In this case, or given 2 points rather, I don't know the slope and I don't know the y-intercept. But I can use my equation for slope in order to solve. So if I keep this as x1, y1, and this is x2, y2, I can use my equation, which is y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2 to get a slope of -1. Then, similar to example number 2, I can use either of the points to help me solve for b. So I'm going to go ahead and use 1, 5, but again you can use either point, and I'm going to plug it into our equation for slope-intercept. So here's my y value, my slope, which we just found, my x value, and b. If I add 1 to both sides, I'm going to find that b is equal to 6. I can now once again start with my slope-intercept equation, and I'm going to plug in values for m and for b. So I have -1x plus 6. Next, I can move down and look at example number 4. This time we are told that we want to write a line parallel to the given line. So we need to remember that parallel means I have the same slope. And our equation that we have has a slope of 2, which means that I'm also going to use the fact that it has a slope of 2. And once again, this should look like example 2, where I now have a slope. I have a point. I'm going to plug it in to our slope-intercept equation in order to solve for b. So I have negative 5 is equal to 2 times 4 plus b. And I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides to find that b is equal to negative 13. Then once again, I'm going to write my final answer in terms of slope-intercept form, but I'm only plugging in values for m and for b. Please flip it over and look at the next side. Example 5 is similar to example 4. We're writing an equation that's perpendicular to the given line. Because it's perpendicular, we know that it's going to have an opposite reciprocal slope. And because this has a slope of 5, we must use the slope of negative 1 over 5. And it says it has the same y-intercept as y equals 3, while the line y equals 3 has a y-intercept at the point 0, 3, which means my b value is going to be equal to 3. So we have y is equal to negative 1/5 x plus 3. Number 6 asks us to write a vertical or horizontal line at a given point. Here we're writing the equation of a vertical line through 3, 8, so we need to remember that vertical line, use the word vux, which means that the equation is going to be x is equal to, and you're going to use the x value whatever point it gives you. So in this case, x equals 3. The last example we're going to go through together is example 7, given a graph. So the first thing you need to identify is the y equals, the y-intercept, which is where it crosses the y-axis. Then we need to find the slope, so I need to find how high do I rise and run over, rise and run over, rise and run over. This should be a repeated pattern, so we should have found that our y-intercept was at the point 0, 1, so b equals 1. And for our slope, we go up 2 over 1, so I have a slope of 2. If I plug this into my equation for slope-intercept form, I get y equals 2x plus 1. We will go through example 8 together in class tomorrow.